Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is well past time to get some more vintage Caterpillar related content up on the feed. We've kept so busy lately with red tractors and prairie gold tractors and now everything else outside. Well, perfect segue. Eisemann Mag, that's right. The premier provider of magnetos and ignition parts to the early Caterpillar Tractor Company, and we have this one last find from the LeSueur, Minnesota swap meet a couple weeks ago that I'm excited to get into on the channel here. Let's see what's underneath this cover. I'm guessing it started life as an Eisemann product. We've still got the switch on the back. One thing about the Eisemann company, they were not afraid to throw their logo or their nameplate onto every surface of everything that they made. They wanted there to be no doubt whose product it was, and it is a good looking logo with the electricity radiating out from around the Eisemann lettering. And funny thing too, after you take the magnetos apart, like caps off, covers off, things like that, you will find their logos emblazoned on every surface, every piece, no matter how small. Anything where they had room to throw an Eisemann logo, it's there. I do admire their engineering though. I mean, an early magneto that basically has armor protection to even their later units where they crafted louvered panels for ventilation. Louvers, that's something that's usually reserved for an entire engine, but it's only for a mag, but they're there, they're intact, they're functional. That kind of styling, for me, nothing modern that we have with a circuit board is ever going to be that cool. So yeah, I've definitely been called an Eisemann fanboy in the past. Okay, I am. I wouldn't say I'm obsessed. I might be obsessed. I could quit anytime I want. Let's just get into the episode. Okay, as for application for this magneto, as I said in an earlier episode, I believe it is Caterpillar 30. And the giveaway is this short, bent, heavy guide tube for the spark plug wires, along with this fitting that's up on the threaded end of it. I've got a few archive photos of Cat 30s that show guide tubes coming off the top of the magneto, very similar to what we have here. Casting numbers that may help to shed some light on application. On the base, we have a 1A 117. That is definitely an early Caterpillar number. On the side of the main aluminum housing, it is 1A 119. And on the back cover, 1A 120. So I do not have any Cat 60 or Cat 30 parts books, so if anyone out there can ID those casting numbers, feel free to post up down below. Another interesting tell that we've got going on here, you can clearly see a witness mark from something that used to go around this flange right here. And you look in the Eisemann book for the GV4, special application used on Caterpillar, spark ignition tractors, and power units, the IS6 impulse coupling. All right, so I have an IS6 housing here that I picked up from a swap meet somewhere. The housing is all we have. Clearly Eisemann, you know, they're very proud of their logo. And the way that would attach, just like in that photo in the book, it would go over that flange just like that, and then these two clips would come in from the side and clip right there. There's even a little bit of a relief in the front of the housing on each side to facilitate those clips to pass through. So that would have been another Caterpillar setup that I believe, going by those witness marks, used to be there. So let's work to get this spark plug guide tube off. See if we can get this this threaded fitting off of them first. Not a lot of extra room through there. Of course, the whole bundle is kind of tied together. Looks like we had a number on here too. You have to love it though. Such a heavy steel tube like that just to guide and protect spark plug wires. And then this piece, they cast it, they machined it flat, they drilled it, they threaded it. All the work they put into these, just overbuilt. S-517, another early Caterpillar number. This has definitely taken some work. We've got the bulk of the wires pulled out of the tube. All right, there we are. So, yeah, we originally had, it looks like an old piece of like woven hose Yep, definitely old laminated hose. Used to attach to the top up there. But yeah, good way to seal those wires, protect them. Next, let's take this back cover off. We can also assess the switch a little bit better that way. These are also what I call the early Caterpillar C bolts, designated by a solitary C in the head. That was the last one. It should come just straight off the back now. Yeah. Typical Eisemann switch. We've got the single lug on the back. That would have originally had a ground wire that went to this thumb screw right here, and that's what would have grounded the mag and cut the spark and made the engine stop. So these are very simple switches. They basically ground themselves to whatever they're attached to. So anytime the key was in either one of the O positions, that's off. And what that does, it allows the switch body to ground itself to the housing grounds to the tractor chassis, thus grounding the mag. So when you'd put the switch in the M position, that stands for motor, that's basically on, it just breaks contact of the switch body to this housing, and the mag can make spark all day long. So these took a skeleton key type design. You can kind of see the opening that it would have went into. There's the key in the breakdown right there. And I've actually never ran across one of those skeleton type keys. I've got several of the Eisemann, it's called the thimble key, all right? And these are similar to the skeleton key, but the shaft is not as long on these, and these only have the one peg. The skeleton keys would have a longer center shaft, and they'd have a peg going out each side. And you can see where they'd have to, dual peg design would pass right through there. So yeah, the skeleton key would go in there, and these are like a push and twist setup where you'd have to twist them and then get those pegs to land in detents, of course, that are back there. And these work off of a like a center push button down inside. That one still springs, it still moves, so this switch might still work. Yeah, you'd put that skeleton key in, and then you'd have to do the push and twist, and when it was in the center M position, it depresses that plunger, and that breaks contact switch to housing. And then when you would do the push and rotate, they'd spring back a little bit when it went into either of the O positions, and then that plunger in the bottom would resume contact once again, and then ground the whole mag. Your engine would shut off. So I'll find one of those old skeleton keys eventually. Now let's work on taking the main cover off so that we can see what we're working with. We've got a oiler cap that has a broken spring. That's all right because it has a hex on the base that tells me it probably threads in, so that would be an easy change. A remote oiler for something, there's likely a tube that goes down to the Magneto on the inside. So this one attaches with, it looks like we've got two bolts, one right there, one right there, attaches to the base mount. All right, those are the Caterpillar C bolts as well. You have to guide it out from around that flange at the front. Alright, and there it is. Yeah, sure enough, there's a oiling tube that sticks down on the back side of that cup. And that should, I should say, direct oil down to, I believe, the main armature shaft, which would be that opening right there. Otherwise, there'd be a spring-loaded cap on there as well. So, yes, it's an Eisemann. Oh, lots of spider webs, lots of bugs in there, but it's remarkably well preserved. Yeah. And what we got back here? Okay. I don't know if you'll pick it up on camera. Model GV4 Edition 1. So that's good. That'll work on the number 9 Auto Patrol grader. That is the one that I need. So it's amazing how much of the original finish stays intact when they actually kept these covers over them. Really went a long ways to protect them. We might as well discard these old wires. They're just in our way right now. Okay, a couple of them left the terminal ends down inside the cap, but that's okay. We can take those out later. Let's get the Magneto off of the base. It looks like 4 bolts down there. And they're the early C bolts, all Caterpillar. There we go. All right. So that does it for the base. Yeah, we've got, that's a ventilation screen right there and right there. And those 2 holes and those 2 holes, passages I should say, those are also for ventilation. The Eisemann manual states to always try to keep those open, make sure grease and dirt don't ever block those. I don't know how well that does when you've got the whole thing completely covered like that. There's not a lot of ventilation anyhow, but it looks like we've got brass. Those are brass colored inserts in the base. That's okay. Yeah, the threads are all brass inserted. That's neat. I just love the construction of these. So this is the magnet, of course. And looking in here, yeah, this is where that oiling tube would deposit the oil, and that's a piece of wicking felt. So it would just drip down, and then that wicking felt would hold it and then slowly release it down into the bearings or the bushings that are on the armature shaft. Okay, I can see a faint arrow of rotation here, so it rotates be clockwise as we look at it. 35-degree leg angle, and that's the impulse for hand starting, and it has to do with these fingers in here. I think it's a little bit catchy. Yeah, we catch right there unless I manually release it. That all needs to be taken apart and cleaned. Let's take a look at the points. So we've got this mica cover and the spring-loaded arm. Rotate that arm out of the way, and then the cover just pulls off. There we are. Contact under there. That goes up to that thumb wheel for the grounding lug for the shut-off. And it's neat because the points rotate. The whole points plate rotates on these. Lots of brass construction in there. And those are some good old points. You can file those, carefully clean them up, and they will last forever. And we've also got our handy little, see that Eisemann wrench, mag wrench. Oop, it's got all the sizes on it that you need. Open end right there. It's got 2 feeler gauges. One of them says this is used for spark plug, and this other one says breaker gap. Okay, so that would be what you'd set your points breaker with. You have your little wrench to get in here and adjust everything. The other side is different sizes. Kind of another neat little piece of Eisemann swag right there. Quality construction. Let's have a look under the cap. These seem to be coming out, oh yeah, just fine, just fine. Let's see if they're captured or if they, nope, they come all the way out. Look at the knurling that they put around the head of that. Just all those little touches, things you didn't have to do, but they just did them anyway back then. This one the rest of the way out, okay. Our carbon brushes that should be on the back side of this. Yeah, there we are. That's our main pickup right there. Center distribution brush, and then those 4 contact the rotor on the inside. We've even got the Eisemann lightning bolt logo in the center of the cap. They put that everywhere. Having a look inside. The mica gear looks good. That impulse is catching out here again. There we go. And of course that is your contact right there that goes from your center lead to whatever spark plug brush, carbon lead, needs to send the voltage out to the plug. All in all, a fairly looking clean mag on the inside. That's about as far as we're going to go with it today. I really don't have any reason to strip it down yet. Just wanted to get a good look at everything. Can't believe how much that original finish is intact. Eisemann GV4 Edition 1. Gosh, I love these things. So I put my mess away. I went ahead and reassembled this quickly. That keeps the mag with the base and the cover all intact. Less things to get lost or damaged. And we can throw another good GV4 along with the lineup that we already had. This one is a really stand-up unit. I think this one is a real stand-up unit, and those other two I know would be good for parts. So I think we've got an episode. This was kind of a welcome departure from the same old as of late. So I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Once again, if you know an exact application for that Magneto setup with the cover, feel free to post up down below. So I think we've done everything we need to do today. I'll finish putting away and hope to see y'all back next time.